Join us here on the Curvy Couch as advertised. Lindsey Graham.
Good morning.
Senator from the great state of South Carolina. He wants to be our president.
Well, apparently I'm not deterring anyone, so welcome to the race, Rick.
What do you think about the latest announcement by Rick Perry?
I like him a lot. I think he's got a great record as governor in terms of creating jobs. He's a really decent man, lovely wife, great family, Air Force veteran, all good.
Do you think Jeb Bush makes his announcement about an announcement the day that Governor Perry makes his announcement because there's a rivalry there?
Who knows?
Okay.
That's just too much for me to follow.
Then I'm not going to count that as my question. All right, fine. Let's move on to something else we've been debating a lot for the last 2 weeks. After the Patriot Act becoming the USA Freedom Act, you're one of the people that's outraged.
Yeah, the metadata program, and here's what we're trying to do. We know of a terrorist, we know who he is, and we know he's got a phone. We're trying to find out who he's calling. So if we find a number here in New York, we go to a judge and say, hey, judge, we got a terrorist on one end. We'd like to find out who's on the other end. Can we listen in to see if there's a national security problem? That's all this has been ever about. But in the effort to make sure we protect our privacy, and this is not a privacy issue as far as I'm concerned, we've destroyed the program. So well done. Anything else you want to tell the terrorists? You want to tell them how we do roving wiretaps? We don't want an unfair advantage over these guys. In terms of the lone wolf provisions, anything you want to share with these guys about how we find out how they interact with jihadist websites? We're at war. We're turning the war into a crime, and I am sick and tired of this.
But I'll tell you what, though, the NSA did not help themselves by coming out on Friday and saying, hey, by the way, this doesn't help track anybody down. And they did not go to bat for themselves through this whole process.
Yeah, but, you know, the commander-in-chief didn't go to bat for them. The NSA employees are patriots as far as I'm concerned. I'm for oversight of the government, but the people out there trying to protect us are not the enemy. I'm not worried about the NSA. I'm worried about ISIL penetrating this country and killing a lot of us. We're at war. And if you're an American citizen, by the way, and you're thinking about joining ISIL, and you actually do, if I'm president of the United States, you'll be killed or captured under the law of war.
Speaking of who wants to be president here, new Fox News poll out shows that there's not really any candidate running away in the race yet for the nomination among Republican primary voters. Take a look at this. You've got Jeb Bush up at 12% with Governor Scott Walker. We see you there. You've got 2% right now.
To the 2%, you're ahead of your time.
When you look at this list, is this reflective? Are Americans right now looking at this and getting it right?
Well, here's what I look at. I look at a lot of good people thinking they can beat Hillary Clinton. And here's what I look at in terms of Lindsey Graham. If this is a national security election, I like my chances. I've been to Iraq and Afghanistan over 30 times. I've learned the hard way what's going on in the Mideast. I've been more right than wrong about the failures of the Obama administration. I would take the fight to radical Islam to keep it from coming here. I've been in the Air Force for 33 years. I think I understand the war on terror better than anybody running, including Hillary Clinton. So watch those numbers grow.
Sure, nobody's got a better resume when it comes to foreign policy than you do. But with so many names on the list right there, you know, the worry in the Republican Party is you're going to have to start beating each other up to stand out.
Well, here's my worry, that we will not embrace the economic and foreign policies necessary to defend the country and grow the economy. The last thing in the world we need to do, in my view, is keep yelling about immigration rather than trying to fix it. But on the national security front, everything President Obama has tried to do has blown up in his face. We're less safe today. And I'm trying to tell the American people and the Republican primary voter, the only way I know to defend this country is to send some of us back to Iraq and eventually to Syria to dig these guys out of the ground, destroy the caliphate, kill as many of them as you can, hold territory, and help people over there help themselves.
But Senator, it's a tough message because a lot of people are just worn out by war.
Well, don't vote for me.
It's that simple.
Don't vote for me because I'm telling you what's coming. Barack Obama's policies of leading from behind are going to allow another 9/11, and the only way to save us from another attack, they're large, they're rich, they're entrenched. If I'm president, they're going to be poor, small, and on the run, and that means we got to work with the regional forces that exist, go in on the ground and destroy this caliphate.
But Senator, the problem is we now have Assad working with ISIS to oust who? The anti-Assad forces?
Well, at the end of the day, you're not going to get any Arab army to help you in Syria by leaving Assad in power because you're giving Syria to Iran. The Iranians Iranians, as we negotiate their nuclear program, have control over Syria, a lot of influence in Baghdad, Lebanon, and Yemen. The Iranians are running wild. So you have to take a side down as well as deal with ISIL, and you need Arabs to help you.
Let me shift back to 2016 here. Hillary Clinton will be at a speech in Houston today where the press will have to stay within the confines of a barricade, saying her speech will be her interview, not taking questions. I think one of the benefits of being American is you get to hear candidates and potential candidates' views, bold statements on what they're going to do in a candid format in Q&A. She's not allowing that. How much of a mistake is that to the American people not to be able to hear?
Well, it's easier to talk to the North Korean guy than it is her. But at the end of the day, when 57% of the people don't trust you,
right,
then you've got a problem, and you better explain to them why they're wrong. And I don't know how you set the record straight about whether or not you should be trusted if you got a wall between you and the voter.
Is the strategy with the Clinton campaign right now to keep her inaccessible as long as possible, so essentially so she doesn't talk to people?
Apparently.
Right.
I don't know.
That's what it looks like.
It's the symbol of her election so far.
I think it's a lack of confidence in her ability to distinguish herself from Barack Obama. Her biggest nightmare is for somebody to ask her, hey, do you think the war on terror is going well? Do you agree with Barack Obama's foreign policy? If you don't, tell us why.
Right. Do you look at Jeb Bush as the front runner?
Oh, absolutely right now.
Why?
Well, because he's got good name ID, he's got a lot of money, he's a good man, and he's got to convince people that one more Bush is not one Bush too many. Well, I like him a lot.
Saying all these nice things might not get you the crown.
Yeah, but I think he deserves that accolade. I think he was a good governor. I think he's a good guy. You know, I'm not running because of a problem with Jeb Bush. I think I'm the best guy to defend this nation. I think I understand the threats we face, and we're reducing our military budget at a time we need it the most. I've been yelling about budget defense cuts for over a year now. So radical Islam's running wild. NATO and the United States is disarming. What's wrong with this picture?
All right.
This picture is great. A guy who is running for president is on our couch today.
Thank you. God bless.
Special moment for you and your family.
Thank you.
It was great to see.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Senator.
All right.